Hey everyone, it's Blade and I bought a Steam Deck a year after its release. Should you buy it or you should spare your wallet? That's up to you, but maybe I'll help you with your decision. I personally ordered my Steam Deck on Friday evening. For the whole weekend I was waiting for this message that my Steam Deck was shipped, but only on Monday morning I got this message. I was shocked, but only 5 minutes later I got the shipping confirmation and the shipping information. So just a quick tip, if you're ordering from Canada and you will get the same message that your shipping is delayed due to some problems with the carrier, don't worry. Wait for 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes and then probably it will be updated. Well, 2 days after I got the shipping message, I got my Steam Deck. Well, this box specifically, as you can see the Steam Deck is right over there as I've been using it for a couple of days, but this box is quite nice as any shipping box can be. Only couple of things that I can say about it is that you have a couple of Steam Deck references and like Valve reference in here. For example, this cube from Portal and the Steam Deck logo that might give an impression that it is something related to Steam Deck to people who know about it. So be careful and don't leave your box outside for a long time. So on this special day, when you get your delivery, you'll get the message from your favorite mailman and you will go over and grab your box. The first thing that you will see when you open this box is a big piece of paper and ton of text on different languages saying where you can play the Steam Deck. Hopefully I can visit most of those places, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna go to the moon. But I am sure that it's at least gonna go on my bed and on my couch. After you lift up the big piece of paper, you will see a Steam Deck in its case in plastic wrap. On the left side you can see the box with the charger. Again, there's a Portal reference in there, nice touch valve. And on the right side you have a Steam Deck with case and plastic wrap around it. Personally, I think that is a good idea, and I think everyone said that it's better to spend money by Valve and give you a free case rather than having a fancy box with a lot of paperwork and a lot of different sections in there. Going back to the charger, keep in mind that this is a 45-watt charger that doesn't have a detachable cable. So if you're prone to breaking your cables, be careful with this one, as you might break it and then you have to buy the whole thing together. Or you can use a different charger. I prefer using the original chargers with my devices, so even if you break it, you can buy a new one from iFixit. After taking out all of the plastic wraps, cutting this small tab that I was hoping to save, unfortunately, well, you have no other use in it than just throw it away, as you cannot detach this small plastic thingy. So the first thing you do, you plug in your Steam Deck, you press the button, and if you're not me, it will turn right away. In my case, for some reason, I pressed the button a couple of times, it didn't turn on, but in 20, 30 seconds and 5 to 10 button presses, I actually got it working. So while it was booting up, I tried to feel the deck. Especially I was a bit concerned on its size and weight, as a lot of people are saying, Switch is smaller, Switch is better, but it is not Switch. However, I will compare it later on in the video, but again, this is perfect for me. My hands are big and therefore I can fit it well in my hands. All of the buttons are amazingly placed. The only thing you have to keep in mind, the D-pad, it's on the left from the joystick, and that you have to get used to it. So at the first you'll be pressing the touchpad, but still I think it feels great in the hand. The plastics, the whole build quality doesn't squeak, nothing moves that doesn't need to move, everything just perfect. So when it boots up, you choose your language, you choose your time zone, and then you choose your password. Why password? It's like the 5th time I say password instead of Wi-Fi. So after it boots up, you choose your language, your time zone, and then you choose your Wi-Fi. And if you have Wi-Fi password that you should have, you type it in. Unfortunately, in my case, for some unknown reason, I couldn't type in the letters for the password. I was pressing them with the touchscreen, I was selecting them with the buttons, but nothing worked. I had to reboot the device. It was a minor hiccup, it was like a small thing, but it wasn't just the perfect thing that you want to see when you just get your new device. But after a quick reboot, everything worked. I typed in my password and it started to update. And here it is. 1280 by 800 pixels 7-inch IPS screen. Now 4K kids might be disgusted by these numbers, but keep in mind that 7-inch screen, that's more than enough for the portable device, and 1280 by 800 pixels, that's a good resolution for a portable thing. Especially you have to consider that the battery is limited, somewhat limited, and you have to run AAA games. And if you're gonna run it in a bigger resolution, it will just have like 10 to 15 FPS, which you don't wanna have. You wanna have a stable 40 FPS. That's actually a good thing, and I think it's a new 60 FPS for the portable consoles. Going back to ergonomics of the Steam Deck, it has a ton of inputs. It has a D-pad, it has 2 joysticks, it has 4 A, B, X, Y buttons, so 1 button per letter. You have 2 trackpads, you have Steam button that brings up the Steam menu, you have the 3 dots button which brings the Steam overlay, 2 other buttons that usually work as the start and select button in the games, but it depends on the game. You have 2 triggers, you have 2 shoulder buttons, and then 4 programmable buttons at the back, which you have to do a bit of a powerlifting with your fingers before using it, because even for my fingers, I wouldn't say that it's easy to press, especially in comparison with Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, which is my favorite controller. If we don't take into account tons of people that say that it breaks within like 2 hours of using it. And I'm really glad that they went with triggers on the back and not the buttons as Switch, because I just need triggers. I need triggers. If on the initial setup your device wasn't updated, go and update it. The first thing you should do is go and update your device. Valve is being great for the last year since its release on updating the device. You will have, I don't know, every week a new update if you're on a public. I don't know how many updates you get if you're on a beta channel, but they keep improving this device and it's getting better and better. So after the update, you should go install all of your Steam games, just all of them, that will fit on your 64 gig model if you spend the same amount of money as I did on the Switch. Or you can put in an SD card that you actually bought before the Steam Deck arrived, because you don't want to wait for it while you have the deck on hand. You insert the card, you format it in the settings, and then boom, you have 256 plus 64 minus the system, somewhat, I would say less than 300 gigs on your Switch if you buy 256 card. And I think that's the best option for the start. You know, if you have a lot of disposable income, okay, go ahead and buy 512 model. It will have a different color of the Steam logo on the case, and it's going to be a bit different. You're going to get like a mesh pouch. You'll also get a matte anti-glare screen, and you will not be able to do this and read my script. But yeah, you can buy a matte screen protector, you can buy a different case, and you can just buy an SSD for 1 terabyte, which is going to be cheaper than 512 model. The difference between the 512 and 64 gigs model. Because of that, I wouldn't recommend buying 256 to anyone unless you are really not friends with tools and screwdrivers and taking out like a couple of, well, it's going to be around 16 screws to get to the SSD, or maybe less. It has the 8 screws on the back, and there are a couple of more to get to the SSD. But if you can do that, it's better to buy 64 model and buy a 1 terabyte SSD and have like a 1 terabyte Steam Deck for cheaper than 512 model. However, I might not recommend doing it straight away, as you don't know exactly what you're gonna play on it. Of course, you think that the first thing that you're gonna do with a Steam Deck is install Cyberpunk 2077 if you like that game. You're gonna install Witcher 3, you're gonna install other AAA games that wait for like 60, 80 gigs. But to be honest, like if you have a PC, you might actually consider doing that and installing some older AAA, like Skyrim for example, or even some indie games like Undertale. I haven't played Undertale before that, and playing it on a 27-inch monitor, it's not the best thing. So when I started playing on a Steam Deck, I actually preferred it than playing it on a PC. So as I said, you install all of your games, And again, if you're not me, for some reason Steam Deck just hates me. It just doesn't want to turn on from the first press of the power button at the beginning, and then it doesn't want to install any games. I don't know what's going on. So I just pressed to install Witcher 3, Undertale, something else, I think it was Hot Wheels. But for some reason, it just had an error. Content still encrypted error. I started to Google it, and for some reason the only things that I could find on internet were some Reddit posts from 2018-19 saying that you have to delete a couple of files from your PC, so it wasn't even Linux related, not saying even Steam Deck related. But as every tech-savvy person, I just deleted the files. You reboot the Switch and you just try to install the game once again, and it works. Well, if we take into account the power button thing, it's the third thing that I had with the Steam Deck within half an hour of owning it. But it was solved by just a simple reboot. I didn't have to do anything, so... Well, I had to reboot it, but it's not much, so... It's still not bad, you know? So the initial impressions, when I started playing the Steam Deck, I was surprised. I do own Switch, the first generation Switch, and even the small indie games are not really nice looking. Of course, maybe the OLED Switch version is better, but you have to consider the prices, and the Steam prices are much better, especially if you're on the regional prices, depends on your country. But most of the games are cheaper on Steam Deck, well, on Steam, than on a Switch. In addition to buying the game for the Steam Deck, you are also buying it for your PC. So it's not like you're buying for only one device, or if, for example, Steam Deck 2 will be released, you are not going to be playing the same games, and I think that will happen with some other consoles. I'm not going to name the names, I'm not going to say the names, but it might happen. Anyways, the first impression of Steam Deck are great. The playing indie games, playing on a couch, playing it on the bed, even at my desk, like when I have, I don't know, watching some YouTube or anything, like listening to music, I can still play some indie games, which I'm not really fond of playing on the computer, even with a controller. So I think if you have disposable income and you're looking to buying some portable device and you have only one wallet, you don't have like separate wallets for PC-like handheld consoles and Nintendo handheld consoles, and you have like one big or small piece of money and you are planning to spend it on something that will bring you joy, in my personal opinion, Deck will do this. Switch will also do this, but less fun, I think. So if you have a large backlog of the games on your Steam account, or you have a large wishlist with AAA games and indie games from the past 20 years, I would say, press the like button to this video, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and buy a Steam Deck if you have money. So leave down the comments if you have the deck, or if you're planning to get one, or even if you have any questions related to this amazing device, in my opinion, and first impressions. Yeah, feel free to ask me anything in the questions. Thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, and now go play some games.